This man started with only one stone. By refining iron from mud, it evolved directly from the primitive era to the Iron Age. Not only can it forge iron axes and swords. This old Wang's name is Akiang. He resigned from his job as a programmer with a monthly salary of 3,500 yuan, and came to the canyon to play jungle. He has set his sights on the precious land of the river, but the stone figure in front of him needs to be knocked down first. He didn't learn any skills, and started working directly with bare hands. However, the stone man opened the skin of future generations without shedding any blood. We can only go back and upgrade our technology first. He picked up 10 vines casually and planned to become a Ji Xiulan. When making, it is necessary to recite mnemonics silently. 4 vines, 24 of 8. Intertwine with each other, draw, and pull. A sharpened rock like Ji Xiulan has completed it. At this moment I realized that I forgot to buy shoes when I went out. I saw him with a vine wrapped around his big toe. Vine strips are interwoven back and forth with hands. Then use the bark to twist into fried dough twists. Fix 3 points through the sole of the shoe. Immediately equip a pair of sturdy 5-speed shoes. He used the opening stone to cut open the bark of the tree. Bind the bark to the branch. Made a bamboo dragonfly fan leaf that can be rotated by hand. Then go to the river and dig some clay into the skill bar. Turn around and draw a circle based on the length of the bark. This is the size of the stove to be made. Wrap the clay into a circle again. At this moment, the bamboo dragonfly is just able to rotate in the mud furnace. In order to achieve high-speed operation of 2.8 revolutions per second, Akiang deliberately used a sharpening stone as a base to reduce friction. Finally, seal the top with clay and leave a smoke vent and air outlet. Place a large cake made of soil on the air outlet. Poke a few small holes to ensure air circulation. This operation is extremely delicate. Although the appearance has a feeling similar to that of an old 8-speed house, but its practicality is beyond doubt. Next is the moment of life. He found a round stone piece and punched it. Thread a perfectly sized branch through it. Fried dough twists made from bark before the list. This way. Just pull the ropes at both ends. He tied the rope to both ends of the perforated bark. Akiang only needs to pull the bark up and down. He drilled a small hole in a piece of wood. Then starts spinning the drill wood at high speed to start the fire. After all, Akiang has been single for many years and engages in daily fitness activity. Blow hard at the Mars sprouts. Akiang poured the fire and firewood into the old Bani stove. And with fire, Akiang can start forging iron weapons. Man, Akiang accidentally found a coconut in the river. After knocking it open, I found it empty. But washing it clean can just be used as a rice bowl. Then fill the rice bowl with mud, rich in iron elements. Akiang studied in 5th grade of elementary school. He plans to add charcoal to restore the iron in the mud. Crush the mud and charcoal and mix them thoroughly. But at this time, in order to accelerate the construction speed, we need to build a new clay furnace to obtain more charcoal. Open 8 small eyes at the bottom of the stove to ensure air circulation. But he still quickly collected a large pile of firewood. Let the wood tightly embrace and burn more fiercely. This greatly improves production efficiency. Seal the firewood with clay while it's not paying attention. Pour the charcoal into the reserved small hole again. All smoke will be emitted from here. After waiting for half an hour of combustion, seal the 8 small holes with clay as well. Charcoal is trapped alive in the mud furnace, and the charcoal obtained in this way is super durable and heat resistant. The next day, Akiang can collect the results. Pour black and hard charcoal into the mud furnace, then spread peat rice meat dumplings. Akiang just needs to keep blowing air nearby. This old 8-fast music house seems simple and rudimentary, but the internal temperature can reach 1300 degrees Celsius. We need to add charcoal once to maintain high temperature. Take out the iron rice meat dumplings. Pour out the rice meat dumplings with cold water when not paying attention. At this moment, the iron elements in the mud have condensed into small iron blocks. Just now, 32 small iron beads could also be refined from 8 clay balls. After the first successful iron making, Akiang started forging iron tools. I saw Akiang mixing mud and charcoal. With just a pinch, it's like a coffee cup. As the cup is placed into the freshly made clay stove, after pouring charcoal, crazily replenish the air. For Akiang, who has been single for many years, this is a pinch in his hand. The cup in the mud furnace gradually turns white in high temperature. After waiting for an afternoon, Akiang took out a cooled coffee cup. You can tell from the sound that it's very firm. Then put the small iron beads obtained from the previous iron smelting into the coffee cup. After surrounding with charcoal, continue to start the fire, attempting to melt iron beads at high temperatures. Akiang uses kiln wall to heat up crazily. The iron beads gradually began to merge into one. Taking advantage of the mud furnace and not paying attention to turning clay into bricks, use small twigs to carve out the shape of a small knife. At this moment, the mud furnace was almost burning open. The iron block in the cup completely melted into molten iron. Especially use 2 tree branches to clamp the coffee cup and pour it into the freshly made knife mold. A small iron knife that was burning red has taken shape. Immediately extinguish the iron knife with cold water while it is not paying attention. Akiang took out this iron lump and polished it on the stone. I finally saw a sharp iron knife. He tried to chop the bamboo and easily took it down immediately. Split the bamboo and insert the handle into it. Then tie it with hemp rope. An original butterfly knife is right in front of me. Next, he will create a complete set of iron tools. Directly add thousands of degrees of molten iron with tree branches. Pour on 2 molds made of mud. After cooling down, use ruthless iron hands to pick up 2 iron lumps, crazily polishing the sharpening stone by the riverbank. Akiang, this is handmade ironware in the wilderness. Once the bark is wrapped around, a large iron hammer is used to make it, and the other iron chisel is also very powerful. They are all good tools for infrastructure construction on the island. At this moment, Akiang was already growling with hunger. In the wild, we can only eat fish by the river. Akiang weaves a fish basket with vines. Don't recite the mnemonic of 24 by drawing a pull. Place a fish basket lid at the entrance. Once a fish accidentally gets into it, there will be no return and no escape. And the production of fishing bait is even simpler. Grab a screw by the river and break it with force. Let the fragrant nuclear freshness emanate. Mix mud again to confuse small fish. So 5 fish basket traps were set up. Akiang just needs to guard the rabbit and wait for the small fish to bite. After taking a nap, I went to harvest the results. How many small fish are there in each fish basket? In just a short amount of time, I harvested nearly 20 items. He immediately returned to the campfire and started making a barbecue grill. Use 3 thick wooden sticks with freshly made iron hammers to pound stones. A simple barbecue grill is ready. He put the small fish on the baking tray. Flip over every 2 minutes to make the barbecue more even. After smelling the creaking aroma of small fish, Akiang immediately wolfed down and began to eat. This river fresh food is delicious and flavorful. After eating and drinking enough, we need to start construction. The stone man from the beginning hasn't been knocked down yet. He used firewood under the stone. First, burn it for 77 to 49 hours. Now Akiang can easily use a hammer. Watching Akiang's demolition is truly enjoyable. A piece of vacant land was quickly cleared out. Let's start with a gravel floor for this renovation. He picked up a pile of thin stone fragments. Free combination based on edge length. This kind of deconstructionist beauty is born for tourists. There are no 2 pieces of iron that cannot be taken down. To build a house, a large amount of wood is needed. He used clay to make the mold for the axe. Split open a wooden stick and insert it. Once the rope is tied to the iron axe, it's done. He went to the forest to find the largest tree. The next step is to collect wood and construct it. Men directly pour over 1,000 degrees of molten iron. Repair the newly fallen logs in one go. Completely remove the disguise of tree bark. Trim the logs into square and upright structures. He repeated these operations and obtained a large amount of wood. Then break the wood and start making the cable cap structure. Seemingly rough tools in Akiang's hands. Cut off half of the wood at both ends. Knock out a hole with a chisel. Akiang, who is stingy, casually polished a wooden nail with scraps of material. This way, after connection, the entire structure will be as stable as an old dome. Connect 4 logs in sequence on the gravel board at the base. As a bricklayer with 3,000 moon stars, Akiang's idea is to stack wooden bricks to form a wooden wall. For this, he cut down a large number of logs and trimmed wooden bricks of the same length. Drill holes and insert wooden nails. His standardized production is like being on an assembly line. Every wooden brick conformed to Akiang's obsessive-compulsive disorder. Akiang used a chisel to create holes in the wooden bricks on the frame. Next, just stack them all up. The wooden wall with such a damaged structure is unbreakable. Even the Iron Mountain handcuffs that have been cultivated for 2.5 years are difficult to shake. After finishing half of the fight, Akiang ignited a fire and continued to build. As the saying goes, one should not take the side eye out. Akiang deliberately left a door space in the middle, and the construction of the door only requires nailing a row of wood onto 2 wooden sticks. When installing the door, fix one of the pieces of wood to allow for free opening and closing. As the saying goes, a well-built house requires a roof. Akiang just realized that the roof hasn't been installed yet. With 2 years of experience as an interior designer, Akiang went to the river to collect a large number of doctoral films. Use a small knife to draw tiles of appropriate size. Make a small hole in the tile and tie it with hemp rope. Then bind it to the crossbeam on roof. Akiang laid the roof after an afternoon of hard work. Akiang was excitedly swinging on the swing outside his house. At this moment I am no longer afraid of wind and rain. However, for convenience it is necessary to build a bridge directly to the doorstep. You can't swing home every day, can you? Akiang made the bridge structure in a 4-in-2 combination method. Build a bridge pier by the river and at the doorstep of the house. Then connect them in the middle. But it is important for Akiang to install floors and railings on the bridge. This can be considered as being played all over by Akiang. Gently tap the floor, and it will take shape. And for safety reasons, guardrails were also installed. At this point, the construction of houses and bridges has been completed. Akiang held a celebration banquet for himself. Rub a ceramic plate with bare hands. After starting a fire and baking, wash thoroughly. Arrange the fish collected in the fish basket on a plate again. This exquisite presentation seems to have attracted many people to work in restaurants. On a low heat, the plate started to sizzle with oil. Go to the field and pull some chili peppers casually. A plate of essence fried fish is ready. Akiang tasted the grilled fish and ended the day that scared the wood.